Am I the a-hole for calling my sister-in-law a racist after she compared my cooking to Kung Pao chicken? For context, I've been married to my wife for about 10 years, and we're a mixed-raced couple. I'm Asian and she's Caucasian. I've gotten along with her family, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, but I've always felt like her father-in-law and other sister-in-law, Sarah, never liked me. I'm a professionally trained chef with 15 plus years of experience, and I work at a high-end Chinese restaurant, a spin-off of a popular one in Beijing, in a large U.S. city. My crew and I have won several awards, and I've been explicitly told I'll be the next executive chef. Sarah is also a professionally trained chef and works at a popular upscale French restaurant in the city. She constantly brags about it and, no joke, compares herself out loud to Ramsay and Bourdain. Whenever I'm at my mother-in-law and father-in-law's house and helping out in the kitchen, Sarah is always criticizing everything I do. Whether it's chopping, braising, marinating, etc. She always butts in with comments like, I think you should actually do X like this. I've been patient with my wife and sidestepping those comments, saying things like, thanks, but I think I'll stick to the way I do it. Things came to a head 2 weeks ago when my wife, father-in-law, mother-in-law, and I were in her parents' kitchen preparing dinner for my mother-in-law's birthday. We were running a bit behind, so things were heated, which I kind of liked because it reminded me of work. And that's when Sarah walked in. She took one look at what I was doing, scoffed, and said something like, "Oh wow, okay, so that's not right the way of doing things." It hit a nerve, and I pretty sternly told her to stop criticizing my cooking and that I'm also a chef like her. She laughed and said, making Kung Pao chicken at some Chinese restaurant doesn't count. The kitchen went silent. Father-in-law snorted/chuckled, and my mother-in-law yelled, "Sarah, what is wrong with you?" I stopped what I was doing, swore at her, and called her a racist piece of crap, apologized to my mother-in-law for not being able to stay, and left for home with my wife. Apparently, this caused a massive fight after we left, with my mother-in-law, brother-in-law, other sister-in-law taking my side, and my father-in-law and Sarah saying it was a joke but kind of true, and that I was being too sensitive. The extended family somehow got wind of this, and now everyone is arguing and taking sides, with my wife getting texts from some of her cousins apologizing for Sarah's behavior. Despite being on my side, my wife is begging me to apologize so that the fight will stop, but I refuse to because F Sarah and her blatant racism. Am I the a-hole? Too long didn't read. I'm a chef working at an upscale Chinese resto. My sister-in-law is a chef at an upscale French resto. She's critical of my cooking skills and has now called it making Kung Pao chicken at a Chinese restaurant. Family at war, wife begging me to apologize. What do I do? Edit. My wife has also informed me now Sarah may be in trouble at work and she's blaming me for it. Apparently one of her coworkers heard her rant about what happened and reported it to management. Edit. To clarify, Sarah is blaming me, though my wife is partly blaming me. Edit 2, update. So it looks like one of my wife's cousins found this post and put it on Sarah's Facebook wall going, "This is you, right?" Her Facebook friends are starting to comment with things like, "If this is you, Sarah, then I'm disappointed. I think Sarah's still at work. Crap might be hitting the fan soon. And now my wife is peed too. We'll try to update, but might have to delete post if things go nuclear." Edit 3, update 2. Was considering removing it, but I just got a voicemail from my father-in-law that my presence was only being tolerated up until this point and threatened a world of hurt if I didn't delete this post. Officially going to keep this post up, and if you're still reading this, Doug, I'm very disappointed in you. You're better than this. We'll also continue to update, and thanks again for all your support, folks. Edit 3, Edit 4, update 3. Lots of stuff just went down. My wife got a call from sister-in-law. From wife's phrasing, Sarah started screaming/crying at her the moment my wife picked up and said that she had just gotten demoted because of her Asian slur husband. Apparently, some of her coworkers have her on Facebook and showed the post to management, which, combined with her earlier rant, double whammied her back into being a line cook, and now she might get fired. My wife told her to go F herself and is now solidly on my side after taking the verbal abuse from Sarah and reading some of the comments here. My wife is still opposite of happy, though. Wife called mother-in-law and asked her what the F was going on with father-in-law. Mother-in-law was confused, so my wife played back the voicemail I had on my phone, and apparently my mother-in-law literally just walked away from the phone without hanging up and started screaming at father-in-law. Facebook post has now devolved into a cluster F flame war with family and friends jumping in. Suffice to say, it has officially gone nuclear. First things first, and I think most obviously, no, you are not the a-hole, and yes, Sarah and your father-in-law were being racist, especially near the end when she used a racist slur for Asian people, whatever it was. Like, yeah, she's in the wrong, and I know that your wife just didn't want fighting, and that's why she was like, just apologize, because no one wants to deal with fights. Oh, confrontation bad. But when the confrontation is rooted in like racism and stuff like that, I would have liked it more if your wife had had your back from the get-go and been like, no, this deserves to happen. Because even your mother-in-law and other sister-in-law and brother-in-law were on your side. So you know that you were in the right, and the father-in-law and Sarah were definitely in the wrong. It's just such gross behavior, and letting that stuff go and apologizing for it just so things stay peaceful, I hate that stuff. I hate that because it's just trying to sweep this under the rug, but then you still get to know that there's just this bed of racism under the rug that you're always going to be on. So, yeah, no, it sucks and it's messy, and I'm sure the family is in turmoil, figuring stuff out, but good for you sticking to your guns, keeping the post up. Sarah deserves what she got. I'm sorry if she's ranting like that at work and then using slurs and all that stuff and getting called out for it and demoted. That's her fault. She brought this crap on herself, and she has just generally been kind of a crappy person from the sound of it. So hopefully it's a wake-up call for her and she can better herself. The end. My own entitled parents made me listen to 4 hours of online preachers to cure my gayness. So for context, I was outed as gender fluid, aromantic/asexual by my brother about 4 months ago. My parents didn't take it well, and they liked to pretend that nothing happened. Well, yesterday my parents came to me and said, "It's time to cure your sin." I started to panic inside, but only replied, "Okay, which sin are you talking about?" They said, "Your homosexuality." FYI, being aro/ace isn't technically homosexuality, but they don't care to learn the difference. They led me to the computer and sat me down. They pulled up an online preacher and said, "You'll listen until you no longer feel gay." So I sat there. I listened to this guy's talk. It was about 25 minutes long. My parents came up to me and asked if I still felt gay. I responded that I can't really change how I feel. They put on another one. This went on for 4 goddamn hours. They finally gave up. I hope they never try again. Too long didn't read. I'm LGBT. My parents don't like it. They tried to cure me. It didn't work. They kept trying for 4 hours. F my life. Wouldn't it be nice if the love from a parent was unconditional and they just loved you for you and didn't try to force stuff on you? That'd sure be swell. Hey parents, just accept this stuff. And if your kid tells you something like that, learn about it. Learn what it is. I mean, no matter what, even if your kid was gay, accept that. Don't force them to sit and watch 4 hours of a preacher. That's just so... Why do you think that will work? Why do you think that that's going to cure them? You're just going to push them away more. Maybe learn about them. Maybe talk to them about stuff and try and understand their point of view. Maybe study the Bible and what it actually says and how some of that stuff doesn't hold up. And if you're gonna, oh my gosh, no, you're uncomfortable with something and you're using the Bible as a weapon here. Stop doing that, parents. I feel terrible for this person and every other kid who's had to go through crap like this. I hope you're doing okay, and I hope you're able to live your life as you are without your parents bothering you anymore. No, I won't vacate my seat halfway through my meal when I was here first. Petty revenge in progress. I've come to a cafe near my office for lunch, and the only space they had to sit was at the end of a communal table. No problem. I sat at the very end of the table, leaving 3 other spaces. I ordered my lunch and sat there minding my own business. A couple of women arrived soon after and politely asked if they could sit at 2 of the free spaces next to me. No problem. Then, when I was just starting to eat my lunch, 2 other people arrived to join them. There was only 1 other free seat left, so what did they do? Yep. Asked me to move somewhere else. The cafe is full. I'm in the middle of my meal, and I was here before any of them. I politely refused. Now they're carrying on about how selfish I'm being, taking up the entire communal table when I'm only one person. They're watching me eat, willing me to finish and leave. F 'em. Once I've finished eating, I'm going to order a coffee, linger over it, and then order a slice of cake. Folks! It's a restaurant, a cafe, whatever. It's kind of first come, first serve. It's not like there are reservations or something, and it's like, oh, you're taking up our reservation by staying here too long. The person just started their meal. Give up, leave, go somewhere else. Don't bother someone. Don't sit there and watch them. Let them enjoy their meal. They have every much as a right to be there that you do, except they were there first, so they have more right. Folks, you gotta stop going around acting like you're the main character of life. And it's like, why won't this person move and give us the seat? How rude. I'm the main character. I'm supposed to get to eat at this cafe. That's part of my story today. Goodness gracious. Get over yourselves. Everyone else has... people are real. All right? People are real, so maybe treat them like that. Stop this crap. Holy cow. I can't with the entitlement of some people. I really need you folks every once in a while to take a breath and just think of a person you're dealing with as a person. Okay? It's that easy. When Karen thinks I can't understand her language. On mobile, sorry in advance. I took my kid, 7 female, to an animal sanctuary. They announced that they would be feeding a baby sloth at XYZ time, so my kiddo and I head over to wait. My kiddo was right at the front, close enough to look the sloth in the eye. Karen was standing to the right of my kiddo. Her son, who looked to be about 11 years old, comes shooting through the crowd and stands right in front of my kid. My kid has a list of neurological disorders and can't yet navigate the finer points of social interaction, so she freezes and starts to tear up. The following exchange occurs. EM entitled mom, EK entitled kid, me. Excuse me, you're standing in front of my daughter. Entitled kid, dumbfounded, look, but doesn't move. Me. Hey, bud, could you please move to your right? You're blocking my daughter. Entitled kid decides to give his balls a tug and replied, so? Me. So don't be rude. Move, please. Entitled mom in Hindi to entitled kid, ignore this stupid S, son. Me pushes my kid forward in front of butt hat kid, then quietly to entitled mom in Hindi, Auntie, this white S knows Hindi. Crap-eating grin. Entitled mom grabs entitled kid and hot-foots it out of the crowd. Today's lesson, kids, don't assume someone doesn't speak a language because they're a different ethnicity. Folks, I just always assume that no matter where I am or who I'm around, the people there speak the same language that I do. It doesn't matter what language I'm speaking. I could be speaking English or German or whatever. Those people speak that language and they're listening to everything I say. They're listening to it and they're reporting it to other people. You know who. Oh, they're reporting it to them. Oh, yes, they are. Even if it's a language that I developed between me and another friend, that friend may have shared that. The friend might be in on it. The friend might be one of them. And everyone knows this language, and if I speak it to myself, people are listening in. They're going to use that against me. But seriously, folks, just assume that if you're going to say something crappy about someone, loud enough for them to hear, they might understand. People learn languages nowadays. It's not, well, okay, it's fairly hard depending on the language, but still, you don't know other people. Other people know languages. And they might know what you say, and then you're going to look like a real butthole. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.